On a crisp October night in 1967, a dazzling, unexplained object streaked through the skies above Shag Harbour, Nova Scotia, careening into the ocean and plunging an obscure fishing village into the heart of one of Canada's greatest official UFO mysteries. Witnesses included not only excited locals, but also the unyielding eyes and pens of law enforcement, ensuring that this case would be chronicled in rare, unequivocal terms. What began as a presumed tragedy, a possible air disaster, quickly evolved into a baffling, high-stakes search for an unearthly craft and escalated into a decade-spanning enigma riddled with denied explanations, invisible evidence, and whispers of a government cover-up. This is the story behind the Shag Harbour USO incident, where fact and speculation continue their shadowed dance. Shag Harbour in 1967 was a sleepy, almost forgotten maritime outpost, its obscurity only pierced by the steady Atlantic winds and, as fate would have it, something far less ordinary. Nestled near covert military installations and Cold War listening posts, the community was unwittingly positioned at the crossroads of geopolitical intrigue and the extraordinary. The area's strategic importance would soon come into sharp relief as searchlights and sonar swept the darkness in pursuit of answers to a mystery that government archives would soon officially define as unknown. This geographic and political context plays a pivotal role in the motives and machinations that followed the incident. The cascade began shortly after 11:00 p.m., when startled civilians gazed upward to see 4 brilliant orange lights dancing in the moonless sky, flashing in deliberate sequence. A group of teenagers and 3 Royal Canadian Mounted Police officers independently watched as a 60-foot illuminated craft plummeted at a sharp angle, ultimately splashing into the black waters just offshore. What made the Shag Harbour incident so remarkable was not just the spectacle, but the convergence of officialdom and citizenry. RCMP constables raced to the water's edge, their urgent hopes pinned on rescuing survivors from what seemed a doomed airliner. There they encountered not wreckage, but a strange pale yellow object afloat on the tide, casting an eerie glow and trailing a thick swathe of mysterious yellow foam. Within hours, the response swelled from local emergency teams to national military coordination, with the RCMP's findings relayed to the Rescue Coordination Centre and Canadian Forces Headquarters. Scrutiny intensified when it was quickly confirmed that no civilian or military aircraft were missing, obliterating conventional explanations at the outset. Official documents would soon immortalize this critical conclusion. The object was classified as being of unknown origin, explicitly ruling out all known aircraft flares or weather phenomena. A concerted search operation was set in motion, led by naval divers and the HMCS Granby, scouring the seafloor for any fragment of the Enigma. Yet after days of grueling effort, the Navy delivered an astonishing verdict. Not a trace, not a clue, but not a bit of anything. The official retrieval effort concluded in a cold ocean silence, leaving the story open to deeper conspiracies and enduring curiosity. The mystery did not, however, sync with the official reports. It only evolved, fueled by dedicated researchers and tantalizing witness testimony. Decades later, the narrative would stretch far past the initial search, with allegations that the object moved deliberately underwater, journeying 25 miles to the shadowy domain near Government Point, a region bristling with Cold War surveillance technology. Here, according to those cloaked in pseudonym or secrecy, naval sonar operators tracked the submerged wanderer as it hovered near sensitive submarine detection bases. Some claimed a second, equally elusive craft arrived in a silent rendezvous and together these objects vanished into the depths, then the skies, eluding both pursuit and public explanation. With no hard evidence retrieved and secrecy swirling around CFS Shelburne, whispers grew louder. Was this merely an unexplained event, or a masterclass in Cold War concealment? Defenders of the cover-up hypothesis point to the disappearance of records related to the alleged chase and salvage operations, as well as off-the-record statements from civilian workers at the detection base, claiming the military had immediate electronic knowledge of the crash. Even years later, renegade divers claimed to find perfect, circular imprints below the waterline of Shag Harbour itself, suggesting that something heavy and anomalous once came to rest there. Physical traces, perhaps, that nature alone could not explain. The lines between truth and official silence remain artfully blurred, giving rise to a captivating interplay between documented fact and whispered legend. At the core of the Shag Harbour mystery lies a stark split. On one side, indelible official confirmation that a structured, unknown object crashed into the sea. On the other, a haunting vacuum of evidence and the alluring possibility of government orchestration. The strength of the incident's legacy is rooted in the unyielding consistency of original eyewitnesses, particularly trained RCMP officers, supported by hard government documentation. Yet the most sensational extensions, sonar tracking, underwater voyages, and extraterrestrial rendezvous, are relegated to compelling anecdotes from sources who stood too close to power to risk open disclosure. The critical documents that might have closed the case have, like the object itself, vanished or sunk beneath veils of official channels and classified archives. The Shag Harbour USO incident remains an enticing cipher, meticulously archived as one of the only official UFO investigations to ever admit to the presence of an unknown craft without an earthly explanation. It stands not simply as a story of what was seen, but what was not found, and what may forever be concealed beneath the cold Atlantic waves and darker tides of national secrecy. Was the object simply a sophisticated, misunderstood artifact lost to time, or does its tale hint at deeper, undisclosed realities patrolled by governments and hidden from public gaze? In the absence of concrete answers, Shag Harbour endures as a symbol, a riddle whose edges are sharply defined by fact, but whose depths are unplumbed, plotting a course between world history and cosmic possibility.